Welcome to the Progress Zone podcast, where we help you create real momentum in your mindset, business, health, and life. I'm your host, Jody, and every week we'll explore the small, intentional steps that lead to big, lasting growth. This isn't about hype, it's about habits. So let's get started. Well, welcome back to the Progress Zone. Today, I want to talk about something we all run out of. Not time, not motivation, but energy. Because without it, progress stops before it starts. There's a reason so many people chase success but still feel drained. It's because progress isn't just a mindset game. It's an energy game. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they're exhausted. They've built big dreams on an empty tank. The truth is, your energy is your foundation. It's the currency of progress, and when you're out of energy, you're out of options. We live in a world that glorifies the grind, but ignores recovery. We celebrate busy, not balanced. We push harder, we sleep less, scroll more, and then wonder why we feel stuck, foggy, and uninspired. But what if the problem isn't what you're doing too much? It's that you're doing too little of what actually fuels you. Because energy isn't just physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual. And when one of those tanks runs empty, the whole system starts to fail. When I first learned this, not in theory, but through experience, it changed everything. There was a time when I was working nonstop, chasing performance and convincing myself it was progress. I'd hit my goals, but I lost my spark. I'd wake up with discipline, but not desire. And the scariest part was that I couldn't tell the difference between momentum and burnout, because from the outside, they can look almost identical. But burnout doesn't always announce itself as collapse. Sometimes it just shows up as dullness, that slow erosion of drive, creativity, and joy. You're getting things done, but it doesn't feel like you anymore. That's what happens when progress runs on depletion instead of renewal. And the deeper I studied it, both personally and through research, the clearer it became. Sustainable progress isn't about doing more. It's about managing energy better. Harvard researchers have shown that people who intentionally manage their physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual energy outperform those who just manage their time, even when working fewer hours. Why is that? Because energy, not time, is your ultimate performance multiplier. When you protect your energy, you protect your ability to grow. And growth, as you know, is the heartbeat of the progress zone. So let's break this down a little more. Think of your energy as 4 interconnected tanks: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. If one runs low, the others get drained trying to compensate. So let's start with the most obvious: physical energy. This is the base of your entire system. Your body is not a machine, it's a message. It's always telling you what it needs. But most of us have gotten really good at ignoring it. We push through the fatigue. We numb the stress with caffeine. We mistake being wired for being awake. But here's the paradox. You don't build energy by conserving it. You build energy by using it. Movement generates momentum, literally. Every 10 minutes of intentional movement a day increases your blood flow, releases endorphins, and improves cognitive function. You don't need to run marathons. You just need to move your body in ways that make you feel alive. Because when your body moves, your mind follows. Now let's talk about emotional energy. This is the energy of connection, joy, and fulfillment. And it's often the most neglected. You can be in great shape physically and still be running on emotional fumes. That's what happens when you're constantly giving to others, but never recharging with moments that fill your heart. We underestimate how much our emotional environment shapes our energy. The people we spend time with, the content we consume, the conversations we allow, all of it either fuels or drains us. You can't grow in an environment that depletes you. And you can't elevate your mindset if you're surrounded by negativity. It's not selfish to protect your energy. It's very strategic. Because when your energy is low, your empathy disappears. And when your empathy disappears, your leadership collapses. So here's a question worth asking. Who or what gets the best of your energy and who or what gets the rest of it. Now let's move to mental energy. This is where focus, creativity, and problem solving live. But we're losing more of it every day, not because we're incapable, but because we're distracted. We live in an attention economy. Your focus is being sold to the highest bidder, and the price is your potential. Studies show that switching tasks, what most people call multitasking, can actually reduce cognitive performance by up to 40%. That's like trying to drive with your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. You're burning fuel, but going nowhere. The antidote? Single tasking, flow states, deep work, protecting time for thinking instead of just reacting. Because when your mental space is clear, your creative energy expands. And creativity isn't just for artists. It's for anyone who wants to solve problems differently than before. And finally, there's spiritual energy. And no, that doesn't have to mean religion. It means purpose, alignment, knowing what you're doing and why you're doing it. When you lose connection to purpose, your energy will always feel empty, no matter how much caffeine or motivation you throw at it. That's why burnout often hits the most driven people. They're not tired from the hard work. They're tired from meaningless work. They've been pouring themselves into progress that's disconnected from their purpose. So if you feel drained, it might not be because you're overworked. It might be because you're off purpose. When your actions align with your values, energy flows naturally. When they don't, every step feels heavier and heavier than it should. So here's the question that shifts everything. What are you doing that no longer energizes you? And why are you still doing it? If you start there, you'll begin to reclaim your energy at the source. Let's get practical for a moment. How do you actually build and sustain energy day to day? Well, first, audit your habits. Energy leaks often hide in routine, poor sleep, neglected nutrition, inconsistent movement, endless scrolling on our phones, low hydration. It's not the big things that burn you out. It's the daily drains that go unaddressed. Second, schedule recovery like it's a responsibility. Don't wait for the rest to fit in. Plan it the way you plan meetings, because recovery isn't a reward. It's part of the process. Third, fuel emotionally. Gratitude, laughter, nature, relationships. These are not luxuries. These are lifelines. And energy doesn't just come from what you eat or how you sleep. It comes from what you experience. And fourth, align with purpose. Every morning, ask one simple question. What's worth my energy today? When you start there, clarity follows. Now let's take a moment and pull all this together. Progress without energy is unsustainable. Energy without direction is wasted. You need both, fuel and focus. If you take nothing else from this episode, take this. Energy is the foundation of every other form of progress. Your mindset, your discipline, your creativity, all of it depends on how you manage your internal energy economy. So maybe it's time to redefine hard work, not as the constant push to exhaustion, but as the consistent commitment to renewal. Because the real flex isn't burning out for your goals. It's building a life you don't need to recover from. Progress isn't about running faster. It's about fueling better. Your energy is your edge. And the more intentional you become about how you generate, protect, and direct it, the more unstoppable your growth becomes. So this week, I want to challenge you to choose one area, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, and give it the attention it's been missing. You don't need to do a full overhaul, just one intentional act of renewal. Maybe it's just moving your body. Maybe it's saying no to something that just drains you. Maybe it's journaling before you get on your phone and start scrolling. Maybe it's reconnecting with someone who lifts you up. Whatever it is, do it deliberately. Because progress isn't measured by how much you do, but by how alive you feel while doing it. And if you can stay fueled, you can stay focused. And if you can stay focused, you can stay growing. And if you can stay growing, you're already winning. Because here in the progress zone, that's exactly where you're meant to be. Thanks for spending the time with me today. Stay focused, stay fueled, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for joining me in the Progress Zone. If today's episode gave you a spark, share it with a friend, subscribe, or leave a quick review. And remember, progress isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up. I'm Jody Donaldson, and I'll catch you next time inside the Progress Zone.